Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our webinar series, which are part of the building capacity activities of the Gate to Fair Trade Fashion project. Welcome all. Thank you for the WFTO team to supporting us here. As you can see, Erin, our comms person, is also joining us today. So we will have a very nice and diverse webinar today. And we will be talking about our QR code and the Byline. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and let's get it to go. So, as I said, we are here today to discuss our Byline and our QR code, which are actually two tools created to support our WFTO visibility, our credibility to be put out there. I'm going to start on a little more negative notes because I think we have to be very honest with ourselves. We have an amazing area of members doing amazing things with amazing products and amazing services. So we are all verified members, but unfortunately, our WFTO labels and logos are not consistently visible. The first buyer label as well is very rarely, I'm being very honest, used in retail environments. And for most consumers, those logos are not immediately understood. So it's not an issue of verification. We know who we are. We know our value. Our value are guaranteed by the guarantee system and the verification we're going through. It's an issue of visibility and comprehension. So this is exactly why within the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion, we introduced this byline, this slogan, where are your values? To translate institutional verification into something a little bit more simple and maybe more accessible, readable, and human while still keeping the system intact. So we will look at how to use the Fair Trade Fashion byline and the QR code to strengthen your brand. So today, as it says on the screen, we're going to be focusing on how those tools are strengthening your brand and absolutely not how it replaces it. So this is an additional tool we have to our brand visibility. So I really want to begin here with a little bit of clarity. This slide is, I think, very, very important. We're not trying to impose a new identity, not for your brands, not for WFTO either. It's about reinforcing the one we already have. The byline and the QR are not just decorative elements. They are structured, actually, trust signals. And when used correctly, they increase your visibility without changing your aesthetics. So what it is and why it matters. So what is a byline? A byline is a short factual trust statement. It's compact, it's very short, it's something people can remember very, very easily. It bridges actually the products we have with our verified traceability, our verified values of WFTO ecosystem. It makes our commitment to fair trade more visible. It's not replacing, absolutely not replacing the certification, and it's absolutely not replacing the WFTO logo we have. And it's not yet a digital product passport either. It is really a visibility tool within the fair fashion ecosystem. So just very quickly, where does it fit into the ecosystem? As you know, we have our WFTO guaranteed member mark, our beautiful blue mark we have, everybody knows, I didn't put it here, but everybody knows what they are. We have our product label, and this confirms verification. We have our WFTO first buyer label that confirms actually the sourcing relationship, where that product has been sourced from a WFTO guaranteed member. Now we have the byline, which adds a little bit of narrative and visibility. And we have our QR code, which connects our members to a digital store, actually. So why does it matter now? Why are we doing this? Why are we adding those additional layers? As you know, the context has been changing. The EU digital product passport regulations are starting to emerge right now. Buyers are increasingly requesting traceability documentation. Consumers are also scanning before purchasing. They want to know. So if small and medium producers don't build digital transparency habits now, we risk being excluded from all that movement later on. So those the byline and the QR code are actually two tools, very powerful step forward towards that readiness. So more to the details. The byline and the QR code indicates your association to the Gate to Fair Trade Fashion project, of course, but in a larger term to the fair fashion movement, to the fair trade movement we are all part of. They reinforce our commitment to the WFTO and fair trade principles. They build digital traceability habits, as I said it before, and they increase consumer trust. And most importantly, I think we should consider that they are actually signaling already early our readiness, professional readiness to buyers, to all those changes which are coming in the future. So again, I'm going to say it many, many times. Don't get bored with that. This supports your branding, your brand, your image, and absolutely that does not replace it. So your brand remains the hero, the primary storyteller, the visual identity owner. The byline is here as an amplifier, system identifier, and a movement connector. I'm going to pass now to the WFTO team. I don't know. I think Nathalie is going to continue. So they will go into the details. This is a reminder of some of the documents you already received, but it is very important, I think, to tell everybody where they are and what they are once more. Nathalie.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Isabella, and good afternoon, good evening, good morning, members. Thank you for joining this session. I'm Natalie, if you don't know me already. I'm the Marketing and Brand Manager for WFTO. I work very closely with Rob, who's also on the call. And Rob was kind enough to develop a very detailed QR code guide. And this guide will actually help members to understand how to use this code with your product label and first buy label. In the guide, you'll also see the Pantone colors, the typography, and how to actually use it as more specifically to the sizing. Because the sizing of the QR code is so crucial, there is a minimum size to ensure that the QR code would be scanned by a potential customer or buyer. So, as I mentioned, the QR code, and as Isabella mentioned, the QR code is supported on your product label and first buy label. It is printed on the reverse side and can also be used on all other marketing and promotional materials. Thank you, Isabella. Actually, I forgot to mention where you find this guide. This guide is on our website. It is under the Info Hub and under our project, whereas if you go to the Gateway project, you'll see all the guides under the Gateway project on our website. It has also been sent in emails and in the newsletter. Here is an example of what the QR code would look like on the product label. I won't go into every detail, but as I mentioned, please make reference to the spacing and the sizing of the QR code because that is really crucial. Thank you, Isabella. Here is reference to the, oh, sorry, you can just go back one. This is, don't
I'm
worry.
very sorry. I'm very
No
sorry.
worries.
I'm going back.
Thank you. There we go.
Sorry.
So the QR code can also be used on the first buyer label. The first buyer label comes in 3 different formats. That's why we showed you the sizing and the spacing on the reverse of the first buyer label as seen on the right image. Thank you, Isabella. So where can you find this QR code? Very importantly, every single verified WFTO fashion member has been issued with their own custom QR code, and this would be accessible in your member hub on the WFTO website when you log in, or on your member profile in the fashion search. So here is an example of a member profile. You all should know it. I'm sure you've received a lot of emails from myself reminding you to please update it. And on the member profile at the bottom, you'll see your QR code there, which can be downloadable in CVG and PNG formats. And what's nice about this is buyers can also download your member certificates and make direct contact with you through your member profile. So it is crucial that you follow the step-by-step guide to update your member profile. And the reference is at the top there, but I think Rob has also added it in the chat. I've also listed the 3 guides which will assist you with the implementation of this QR code. The first one being the QR code label guide. And then that also makes reference to the label and mark guide and the first buy label guide, should you have forgotten about those 2 marks and labels that you can use. Oh, that's me then. Thank you, Isabella. I'll hand over to you again. And please feel free to add your comments and questions in the chat.
Thank you, Natalie. Yes, so very, very important, your profile, especially when you use the QR code, should be very much detailed and updated as much as possible, because people will go and see that. This is the first page they will land on. They have direct contact to you, and a lot of very useful information. So I wanted to go now a little bit into very practical examples of what we can do, because those tools the WFTO team prepared are very beautiful, very detailed on how to use it, but it is always hard, and it always also hard for me to kind of see how can I take that knowledge, how can I take those guidelines and actually put them into real life, into my marketing, into what can we do with those. So here I really wanted to give you a few possibility of how to integrate this this byline. This is the moment where we're going to go into practice. This is, not to add them randomly everywhere and anywhere. It's about the placing the byline and the QR code in a structured and intentional touch point, so that it brings value to what you do, to your products, and to your marketing efforts. So I went ahead and I created a mock-up website of a non-existing brand. So this is just for just as an example to say. So I tried to be coherent on the text on those images and etc. But please, don't take it for granted. This is a brand which does not exist, or maybe does not exist yet. But it's just to give you an idea. So our brand is called Luma Earthwear, actually, and it's a conscious brand with very, as you can see, minimalistic aesthetics. It's all about natural products. It's all about artisan made things. So when we land on their website, they have a hero image, they have some featured products, and this is where could be another example of placing that where your values slogan with a commitment to fair trade fashion on the website. So this is just one example. If you click here, or if you click into our story, then we go into a more detailed page. where you know, all the brand values are there. This is fake photography. It does not exist, but it was meant to show the collaboration between the brand designer and the artisans. So, you know, it was founded as a simple belief that clothing should feel good, in form, in fabric, and in impact. So those are, this is the brand. And then we opened it up with a little bit more text. We added the where your value byline, and then the QR code. So I added as well here, scan to discover our verified producer profile, so that people know what this QR code stands for and what it allows us to do. So again, this is just an example of a brand integrating it into their values, putting it on their first page, and then the about page, about the brand page. So here's another example. This is my own website. This is a screenshot from Bebe Moss. And as you can see, I did not put the slogan here because Bebe Moss makes toys. So where your values would kind of not fit in there. But the QR code still fits very well into our About Us page. So we talk about being women-owned, fair trade company by design, a small company with big purpose, and we talk about, you know, our commitments to fair trade and to sustainability, the WFTO guarantee system, you know, and how we live actually by the 10 principles of fair trade. And this is an excellent example of how we can kind of add additional layer of verification, because people can scan this code here and go to the WFTO page. So they can understand that yes, that's exactly what it is. We are a guaranteed verified member of WFTO, and they can have more information from the WFTO page. So this was another way of integrating the QR code, even though in this context, adding the byline was not very possible. So I'm coming back to my Luma, my fictive brand, to show you another example of where this could be placed once again. So this is a product page on their website. You know, so the traditional product pictures, you can select the size, the color, add to cart. They are an e-commerce brand, so you can purchase over here, but it could be also a B2B website where people are not actually purchasing, but they're just going through the products. So in that page, of course, you have here in the bottom the materials and fabric story, care instructions, size and fit, all those important details about your product. And then I called it traceable production, just to give it another name. We could put another title like, you know, verified fair trade or something like that. And when you click in here, this is an example of how we could add a little bit more explanation to the slogan, the where your value, and the QR code. You know, so it says this garment is crafted in Nepal by a WFTO guaranteed fair trade enterprise. W verification means independent monitoring of fair wages, safe working conditions, no child labor, environmental responsibility, long-term community investment. Transparency is part of our design process. Where your values, it sits very, very well into that story. The QR code, which brings people into the WFTO page, scan to discover our verified profile. So now, other places where we can very efficiently use, you know, the mark, and here I tried to integrate it into the product hang tags, so the product labels. So as you can see, you have a shirt here, and I very specifically did 2 hang tags, 2 different ones. So one which is preserving the brand's identity with their websites, with their fonts, etc. And a second one, which now we'll be talking a little bit more about WFTO, the QR code, etc. So as you can see, This could be a standalone or it could be recto verso, depending of how you want to present. Again, those are just a few practical examples to inspire you. So guaranteed fair trades, we have our WFTO logo. It says underneath that this garment is crafted in Nepal by a WFTO guaranteed fair trade enterprise. Where your values, the QR code, again, scan to discover our verified producer profiles. And on the back, there is a little bit more explanation, again, about fair wages, safe working conditions, etc. And again, the QR code reminded people to, my screen is jumping by itself. I'm very sorry about that. Now, another example is a catalog. This could be, a line sheet or a catalog many of us are using especially for our B2B buyers during trade shows. Maybe even you use PDF catalogs to send to your potential clients, etc., etc. So again, this is a made-up product, and we have this essential jumpsuit, which is there, and we have the regular information you could put on a catalog product page. So the description of the product, wholesale price, minimum order quantity, lead time, materials and fabric, fit details, etc. And then I added in a different way of wording, a proof of supply chain verification. This product is manufactured again in Nepal by a WFTO guaranteed enterprise. Under verified fair trade standards with the QR code. And again, I added scan to discover our verified producer profile so people know, where are they going and why are they going for when they scan. Another example, and this is pretty simple to implement. So this is somebody, again, from my fictional company, from Luma, writing an email. So on the bottom of the email, you have the signature parts. This doesn't have to be like that. Again, those are just practical examples of how we can include our byline, the WFTO guaranteed member logo, and the QR code over there as well for people to scan. Now, of course, those were just very, very quickly. I went through like a storm, I think, very, very fast. Now, this is our call for us to use it. Those additional tools, they only work if they're implemented. So they will only work if you guys, if all of us, I'm including myself here too, because I am a member too, and I have multiple brands. So it's also a call to myself to use it. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be everywhere. We can start small, but we have to start implementing this. One product page, one hang tag, one line sheet, one email signature, better done than perfect. So it is very, very important. I wanted to come back a little bit, where your values, it's not a campaign, it's really a byline. It's our visibility infrastructure. And again, this infrastructure becomes powerful only through repetition across different touch points. That's why it's very important that we talk about it, that we put it on our product labels, that we add it to our website and other marketing materials. We include it in our social media messaging. The more consistently actually it appears, the stronger the fair trade fashion identity becomes, the stronger our WFTO logo becomes. And we need to really work all together to make that WFTO logo more recognizable. And the logo itself is usually not enough. If people can anchor the symbol of the logo with what it means, in our situation in the fashion industry, where your values, people are going to question their values. People are going to ask the questions, what are the values of fair trade? So, we're really hoping that it will open conversations, that it will open, more general knowledge and propagation of all of this, so that this beautiful mark and those beautiful values we all uphold are not known only to us and a few buyers we do have. It's really an effort to make it more mainstream, I would say. So here are a few beautiful images WFTO team prepared just to give a few examples of existing products and how also it could look. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna give the floor to Erin, who will go more into the details and the nitty-gritty of social media, of a lot of templates and additional tools WFTO team and the G2 Fair Trade Fashion team prepared for you to make your life a little bit more easy. I know it's hard to do, good marketing. You have to do the social media, you have to promote your brands and your product. So it's a lot of work. And we tried very, very hard to give you easy tools so that being part of that propagation machine, I would say, is kind of easier for you. Erin, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to wait for Isabel to stop with her screen share first, so I can just get started because I'm going to be doing a couple of demos today and all of that. So hi, everyone. My name is Erin. I am the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion comms coordinator. I've been with the team since July. So just wanted to give you a little bit of a progress update, where we've come from, what tools and resources are available to you as members, and how we can continue to amplify our message as a community of fair fashion members of WFTF. So let's just get started then. So I want to come back to this image, which we had created at the beginning of this whole project, as Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion is not only just this market access mission, but also this amplification, communication cloud messaging together. That's a huge part of our project, is advocacy and getting the word out and making sure that together we're actually stronger as a unit in amplifying our message. So what does that mean? The Fair Trade Fashion Communication Cloud. Well, I think it all starts with our Gateway team, the templates and support that we're able to provide to members, our partners, and the artisan groups and brands that encompass this whole ecosystem. So together, if we're all communicating about this and pinging off messages in the technology, in our social media atmosphere, then hopefully we all are able to grow together. And so that's the overall reason for why we're asking you to post, using some of our hashtags, using some of this content. So my vision in creating this communication toolkit was to create ready-to-use and simple templates to engage with the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion brand. So thinking about everybody's time. I know not everybody has a dedicated social media team, perhaps, and sometimes social media comes towards the back burner because we have so many things going on day to day in our business. So really just thinking about what is the best way to access this and how long does it take? And I'll show you, it can literally take potentially 5 minutes to create a post. So yeah, we really want to amplify the message behind Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion using unified hashtags to point fair fashion buyers towards our algorithm, towards our products. So using hashtags as a little bit of tech information for you, if we're using hashtags and we're using the same messaging, first of all, it attracts buyers who have maybe liked similar posts that have to do with fair fashion, ethical sourcing, things like that. It will direct them towards your page or your reels on Instagram, things like that. So that's why we want to all be using a cohesive messaging together. And then lastly, I wanted to provide templates that allow members to provide educational content, brand transparency, and also kind of enveloping those in your typical brand practices, because you all have beautiful brands that we want to highlight as well. So our main mode of sharing right now is basically just we have a Google spreadsheet where I've uploaded about like 15 or so templates that are ready to use, ready to go. You can also find that on our info hub, things like that. It has our links to different Canva files that are exportable to your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, suggested captions, and mandatory hashtags. So I'll go into that a little bit more later just so you can view how the sheet looks, where to navigate to, all of that. But I just wanted to let you know that's our main place, our main source. And then on the back end of things, this is sort of everything that we've created as far as member templates. So as you can see, there's a lot of blank pictures, allows you to drag and drop your images really easily and digestibly once you copy the template. And I just want to also highlight before we get to our demo what our social media guidelines are for you all. So as I said, the hashtags of it all are very, very important to use all of them in the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion posts so we draw people towards our brands together. Also, please just pay attention to the suggested captions for any credits or tags, especially on like educational content, just for references. And then also we ask that you use the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion logo and our partnership logos when posting our content. So that really just draws in also making note of our sponsors too. Lastly, please feel free to tag or alert the WFTO accounts that are working together on this initiative. So WFTO Fair Trade, WFTO Europe, and also the Polish Fair Trade Association as well, who is our other implementing partner on this. And then lastly, please also tag your WFTO regional account as well, so we can also work together to amplify your voice, maybe repost your content on our socials too. So once again, just like giving this message of the hashtags to really amplify this message. These are the ones that we're typically using with our center point of hashtag wear your values, which Isabella also went into great detail about as our byline, as our slogan, as our kind of our marching tune for this message. So yeah, just really putting in some importance there. Lastly, something that I'm sharing as well on our Google spreadsheet is just our Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion logo. And some of our sponsor logos are white transparent Gateway background as well as the Gateway Canva color codes. I know sometimes we all have our own brand identity, and maybe Gateway, not all of the templates might speak to you in that regard, and that's totally fine. This is also just a way to give you inspiration and a way to get you to continue saying this message. So I'm also more than happy if you have your own social media team, your comms directors, whatever, just feel free to, use your own creative direction as well, but staying within this realm of the logos, the sponsors, things like that. So that's also in our Google spreadsheet for you. Okay, so now I'm going to demo a few different ways that we can be using our templates for Gateway in your own social media. So part one, I'm just going to do a very simple Instagram post, no videos, no reels, nothing. And then the second is actually, maybe part two, a level up. It's creating a reel, but this template is already customized for you or customizable for you in our folders. And it's actually a really great way to draw people into and finding your enterprise on the WFTO Fair Fashion search. So would love to see you all at least try it coming up. So let's get into this demo. So I'm just going to come in here. And please let me know if there's any issues seeing anything. So first thing I would do is just go to our member content sheet. So just taking you all through this here, this can be found in our Canva how-to guide. And we will also be sharing all of these links with you after the presentation as well. So no worries there. And so this first page, member content for stakeholders, you'll see a picture of the Canva template all the way on the left-hand side of your screen. Then we have this link that takes you to our Canva, the Canva link, the suggested caption, the hashtags. I've also noted on the sidebar here channels that it might be suitable for. So like the sizing, if it works for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, stuff like that. And yeah, so this is just our whole suite here. We have promotional content, so really just very blank, bare bones content where you can just, it has our colors, it has a place for you to put in a photo, and you can add your own text to the image. There's other content that has a little bit more about what is fair trade fashion, perhaps. Maybe you want to amplify that way. Some graphics that are just talking about what a verified fair fashion project might mean. So there's really a variety. We also have some content for the member search, educational contents like focusing in on fair pay. So you can adapt that. And what I've done is adapted something that we used for a WFTO post to something that you can customize towards your brand values and what you do to ensure fair pay. So like there's differences. If you want to be an activist, if you want to provide educational content, it's all here. So let's get started with the first template. This one I think is fairly digestible for everyone. So this is just a one-page template, very bare bones. So you can't see yet because of the picture insert, but it's basically just saying this product is verified fair fashion, or our brand is verified fair fashion. So once we log into Canva, some of you might have to set up an account, all of that. But once you click in on the link, you're going to go to your top left-hand corner to File, Make a Copy, because all of these are on view only, so nothing is going to get disturbed. So File, Make a Copy, and then now you're in a place where you can edit. What do we do now? Because this looks pretty bare bones to me. So I'm going to use some submissions from members who have provided us content in the past. So first thing I would do is I'm actually just going to go back to my desktop, to my images. See here, I have 5 images from Minushi. I'm just going to drag this image right onto the page, and it populates. And then basically this background is acting as a frame. So if you play around with it and just drag in, it populates immediately. So fair fashion verified by WFTO. Now, another thing that we can do, let's go here. So if I go to WFTO.com/fashion, I come in here. If I search for a fair trade fashion member, go down here to view member. And I scroll down, find our QR code that Isabella brought into the conversation. You can download that as a PNG file, move over to your copy document in the other tab, drag and drop. And maybe you want to add that into the corner where this little knob is. You can play around with the transparency of the image to make it blend in a little bit better. And pretty much here, you could go ahead and post, right? Maybe you want to play around with colors. You can go here, look at the color palette. It's already given to you on the sides. Maybe I want to play around, make it a different color, make it more visible, anything like that. Other things that you could potentially play around with, say you don't want to put your QR code on this page, or you want to take away some details, that's totally fine as well. So these are just tools to give you a starting point. After this cover page, also, you're more than free to add in additional pictures and things like that. But I'm just here to show you that that's how easy it could be for you. So once you're satisfied with your post, with your image, you'll go here towards file. And to download this to use on social media, I usually suggest PNG, that's fine. You could also do JPEG. And then you go ahead and download. And just like that, this is postable already for you. So you go from there to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever works for you, for your team. So that's just part one example. I am trying to get out of here with the toolbar, but it's in my way. There we go. So next bit here that we'll do. We've created some reels as well for you to be able to communicate about the WFTO Fair Fashion Search. So I think that this is actually a really great tool to draw people to your brand, to draw people to your page. It might look really intimidating and complicated to start with, but just bear with me. So once again, file, make a copy. Okay, now we have our own template. So I have some images and some background from Sabahar because they submitted to us, and also just easy to use them based off of what I've captured. So this is how you customize this template. So first, actually, let me show you what I've done here. So any text that's in brackets is something that you should probably edit, because it will say something like XX enterprise or your values, something along those lines, to customize your content with your own words. So here, let's just say find Sabahar in the WFTO Fair Fashion Search. Okay, so just go through, see, okay, this part doesn't look like it needs to be edited. Okay, so now this slide needs some editing. Okay, I need to find my country in the WFTO fashion search. I need to find skills and techniques. A few images that we need to grab. So what would I do in this case? Easy enough. Go to wfto.com/fashion, where the fair fashion search is. And then you can just look at finding your enterprise. So literally what I did for this one was fairly simple. I just did a couple of screenshots and screen grabs. So from here, I would just go drag and drop from my screen. So you won't see it in the corner. But then that screen grab is on my desktop, for example. So I am going in, and I'm not sure that everybody can see my desktop actually right now. Yeah, so let me just make sure that it's my entire desktop here. Okay, so I'm sharing my whole desktop now for you all to see. So enjoy. But so here I would just scroll back to the top. And so I had prepared these beforehand, so bear with me. But so for example, just taking the 5 screen grabs, so searching for geographic location on the Fair Fashion member search, drop that in here. We'll customize that to Ethiopia because that's where they are located. Moving on to our next slide. This doesn't look like it needs to be changed at all, so we'll just select our skills and techniques, drag and drop that in. Okay, this also doesn't look like it needs to, this text doesn't look like it needs to be changed, but we need to change the picture. So take that screen grab that we took by exploring the WFTO Fair Fashion Search, drag it in. Okay, brand values. Of course, you can edit this too. If you want to search the actual brand value, for example, for Sabahar, I think the brand value is women-led. So we can edit that text by just clicking on the text box. And then finally, here, connect with our member. grab your screen there once you finally find yourself. Okay, great. So it looks like that only took a couple of minutes or so. So let's all take a look at what the preview is. So here, obviously, we're seeing some animations. We're seeing it come into a video form. And of course, this is postable for, this is actually cut to be postable for both your Instagram story and also your grid post. So depending on what you choose to highlight here, that's another way that you can draw people into the brand and all of that. And we end with a nice little graphic. And say I wanted to change my color, of course it's possible, just change it to orange or green or any of these colors on the side panel, or white, even if you wanted to, cream. So it's all very adaptable. Up here, you'll find your background color. Here, you'll find your text box, all of that. And also, if something goes wrong and you need to figure something out on the sidebar, it's here to catch you. Say you wanted to add in another picture, right? So let's see if we can do that. Because actually, say your enterprise isn't listed in the different enterprise bubbles over here. Then I could just drag in this one and put it in the square. So I know sometimes I move pretty fast. I'm a Gen Z. So if this was not super digestible for you, let me know. And I'm happy to review any of these, but I just wanted to do this demo for right now on just 2 different ways that we can share our content together. And once again, actually, sorry. Once again, also for this one, like I said before, once you're satisfied, once you're finished with this reel, go to File, Download, MP4 video. That's what's suggested because it's high quality. You could also do JPEGs as well. Okay, so if we go like this, download. And this one's gonna take a little bit because it's a video, but that's basically how you would do it. Open it up, save to your camera roll, post to Instagram. So let's go back to the slideshow. And let's review. We have 3 resources for you where we've consolidated all of this information. If my tutorial was a little bit fast today, we're going to upload it to our Canva how-to guide. There's already a video there that I did back in October for everyone. So feel free to check that out. The Canva how-to guide also goes through how to set up your account and some quick skills for making your own content too. Our Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion member content sheet, and then, like I said, our Canva files, our Canva folder for Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion members. So this member content sheet will be your best friend, and your Canva how-to guide is your support, your life jacket for all of this. And why are we utilizing these resources? Well, I think that the best reason is because Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion is a unique community. Be proud, communicate about it, get people excited about fair fashion, especially with all of our events coming up, trade shows, campaigns for International Women's Day, stuff like that. That will be great times to be using these graphics. It shares evidence of your commitment. You'll stand out from your competition and highlights the guarantees that both the WFTO and the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion QR code builds consumer trust, and it associates your brand with us, enhancing its value. Also, if we all post together, it might open us up to some new international markets, who knows? And it helps consumers understand the added value of verified products that they could buy. WFTO and PFTA will also use their platforms to amplify your message, reposting on their stories, commenting on your posts, making sure that we are also joining in on the positive communication together. And of course, these templates already exist and they're there for you. So if you're in a really busy week, like I said, this entire demo probably took around like 10, 20 minutes. But I think that once you get the hang of it, you can be posting within 5 minutes, given that we've given you suggested captions and easy ways to work with us and the brand. So I just want to open it up to feedback, anything else that you might like to see along the way as we continue to communicate about Gateway. And yeah, would love to hear your thoughts. Does this seem digestible? Are there any other things that you want to go back to that maybe you felt like I went too fast on, stuff like that?
Well, thank you, Erin, very much. I think, yes, it was a bit fast, but I think it is very, very simple. And I think everybody can achieve to use Canva. Canva is a free tool. You don't need to pay for it. So you don't need to spend any money on that. And those templates are a lifesaver, especially when you have a week where you don't know what to post. So just grab your own images, grab your own products, put them into those templates and post them. Before we open the floor to any questions or any suggestions, I would like to say that within the Gate to Fair Trade Fashion project, we have office hours planned. Those office hours are especially allocated to those people who are going to be our grantees. So as you remember, we have a grant. People submitted application to grants, and very, very soon the grantees will be announced. So there is a space of time where we will be here to work with those grantees on implementing their grants, on amplifying their messages, etc., etc. I would like to say as well that for those who are not part of the group of those selected grantees people, I will be opening a few slots for our members to work one-on-one on how, where, to integrate that messaging into their brand story, into their brand message. So you will receive that information via the WFTO newsletter, and you're going to be able to take appointments and have myself and maybe Erin as well to help to look through your branding, to look through your website, to look a little bit more step by step by how you communicate about yourself and how can we improve that and how we can integrate the QR code, the byline, the values around the project and around fair fashion as well. So this will be open to everyone. There's going to be a few spots available. So if you're really lost, if you really need some help from us, we are very happy and we will open that time for you. Again, WFTO will communicate about that in their newsletters. And also you will find that information in your hub. So please do visit, please do read those newsletters. They are usually packed with a lot of very interesting information and what's happening within WFTO. So please read them every month. There is one going. And there's a lot of information in there. So thank you very much, Erin. Thank you very much for the WFTO team. And I'm happy to open the floor if we have any questions.
Oh, also, sorry, just quick plug. If you have not already filled out the Google form for QR codes, the Google form for communications, and you haven't seen your brand highlighted on the Gateway stuff, it's probably because I don't have any content received from you. So if you are one of those people, please feel free to check out this QR code where we've put all of the information that we need consolidated. And then I will also be reaching out just for photo and video content from the participants in this call. So thank you so much. And now we can open up for any questions.
There was a question from Malin, and thank you for your comment and question. Yeah, it is quite challenging with space and product labels and having all the QR codes. Unfortunately, according to the WFTO bylaws, we have to use the product label that says guaranteed fair trade. Unfortunately, you can't just use the WFTO logo by itself. It needs to have the guaranteed fair trade. I have added the example in the chat. The other example is to have your name as well in the product label. So if we remove your name from the product label, this is the only one that would be able to be used. The other thing is to not use the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion QR code on your product labels, but on your website and all other marketing communications, which would obviously also assist with space. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. Very clear.
Thanks. Is there anything else? Let me have a look in the chat. Luis,
Hi.
you have a question?
Yeah, well, more than a question is to, I think this baby need to grow. We need to expand the information about the logo. And I think these kind of meetings help to clarify the use. But I mean, if we're gonna, I think it's an enhancement of our brand. So if we're gonna expose, I mean, our brand, participate in shows and all that, we need to make sure that the logo is there too, because this is very important. We do in fashion, we need to put it next to the fashion products that we present. This is very important because if not, it will be like the club of Amigos club, you know, that we are few and then we need to do. I think we are committing, ALPA is committing more now clear that there is a plus for us, no? Since what is behind is not only WFCO, but it's also something that will connect what we do in fashion and promote the principles. And I think I wanted to say that because I think this group needs to grow. It's very important. Thank you much because I think you are committed to, but there are some of us who as members committed to this thing too. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Luis. And it is very, very important. It is like a snowball. So it starts tiny. It starts with a few members who are committing to do so, and we can grow that. And also with all the work Erin is doing for social media, that amplification is a lot. It's a lot. You don't, do not think about it as, oh, what it's going to be one post do. Actually, it does a lot, because if we use those same hashtags over and over again, this will also encourage the algorithm to show your brand more often, because there's those same hashtags repeated, etc., etc. So it's really like a snowball, and we have to build that ecosystem where, by being together, we are a lot stronger, we are a lot louder, and we are a lot visible all together. So I wanted to show you, I have one hang tag I got from KTS actually. So they put their own logo and also the WFTO logo. I mean, there is the examples we showed you are not the only way to do include those messaging. Again, you have to find how it works with your brand, with your colors, with your identity and your messaging. But it is possible to include it. It is possible to so that one doesn't overshadow the other. They both have different roles. Your brand is your brand. The WFTO logo is it's a proof of our certification, of our commitments, that we respect the 10 fair trade principles, and the slogan just makes it a little bit more memorable, perhaps, hopefully, for the public. So I really hope that many of you will start using, First of all, the WFTO logo in a proper way in as many places as possible. Second of all, the QR code, which is really bringing it all together and bringing also people to the WFTO website, which is actually our duty. We are, one of our principles is to promote fair trade. So we have to do so. It is part of the deal. We are part of this beautiful community, and it is one of our duties to promote the movement as well. So really, I hope all those tools are going to be useful for you. Again, we are here. We are very much available to jump in and to help you. And as I said, I will be opening some slots during office hours so that people can reach and we can look a little bit on one-by-one basis on your website, on your communication things, to how we can include that. Thank you very much.